Hey guys, Sandy here, and welcome to day one of my documenting December project. If you haven't seen this series on my channel before, what this series is it's not a December daily in the traditional sense of the word, where I just tell a story from every day in December. What my December project usually is a combination of December daily. It's a combination of just using beautiful Christmas scrapbooking products, and it's also a little bit of Journal Your Christmas. Today is December 2nd. I am going to be working on my title page, however, because yesterday I was called into work and I worked a full shift and came home super exhausted and didn't work on this at all. So I'm trying to get caught up so that the day coordinates. So we'll see if I can get that caught up anytime soon. Won't be today because I don't have much time before I have to leave for work again. But let's see what I can do. Yay! Starting on the December project, you guys. This makes me so entirely excited. I'm so excited I can't even say excited. I know that I am behind, like behind in air quotes. As I have more time to scrapbook, I will do more than one day at a time. But like I have said previously, my December project is a combination of December Daily, Journal Your Christmas, and really just scrapbooking with pretty Christmas supplies. So there it is. Now I used that crepe paper to cut down because I really like this tone-on-tone text background. And I was thinking about the back of it already and thinking about what I should put on the back of it. But then I thought, you know what? We'll worry about that tomorrow. And I'm just going to get the title page down. So I'm using some of the Simple Stories kind of filler pages that came in the album just as a template to hold on to those little holes that I needed to punch. I am using a thicker paper. It is Cartabella paper, so it is a little bit thicker than normal scrapbook paper. If you've never touched Cartabella paper, you gotta get your hands on some. You just do. Now, originally what I was going to do was have some of these rice paper stickers from Paper House go across the bottom and give me a ledge. But ultimately, I decided it really didn't need the ledge. Now this little vellum calendar, it just says December and has, every day of December in gold on it. Came out of the Heidi Swapp die cut pack. And I really like this. I think there's been a couple December albums that I have that have like a December calendar in the title page, I think. I feel like there is. It feels like something I would do. But honestly, I'd have to go flip through and see if it is something I've done in the past. But I really like it. Now that I have figured out kind of where I'm going, I decide to really like amp up some sparkle. So this is Glitter Kiss, and I finally get it undone. Yay! And it is starting to dry up a little bit. It's not as juicy and doesn't have as much, I guess, moisture in it. But that's okay because it still totally works and totally usable. So I am using my glitter paste spatula here. I do have one that I use for all glitter pastes. That way, if I don't get all the glitter off and it dries on there, it's fine. Doesn't bother me one little bit. And don't mix it with other spatulas that I need. So I'm kind of doing this loosely, meaning I'm not going all the way to the edge because I don't want it to be a square of holly on top of this paper. Now, and that is just because I want it to feel a little bit more organic and just like kind of like the glitter just kind of like sat down on the paper for a minute and then got back up so it doesn't have the hard edges. And wha-bam! Look at that. It's so gorgeous. So I do have to confess that while I was editing this video, I like watched that in slow motion multiple times, and every single time I went, well, bam. Just because I loved that. Peeling back the stencil and seeing the glitter underneath of it just brings me such joy, you guys. Like, I could probably dedicate a scrapbook page to it. I'm not going to, but I probably could. So I pulled out the chipboard and some thickers because I thought I was going to be using one of these for the title. I ultimately don't, and that's okay because I have all these supplies, and I can use them for 25, at least 25 more days. We'll see how hunky the album gets. Sometimes I stop at Christmas Day because I don't have more room in the album, and sometimes we go all the way to December 31st. Now, I am going to be stamping, and this I think really is going to set the tone for it this year. I want to make sure that I include some stamping in this album. I have some fantastic and fun and beautiful stamps that I've pulled, and if you want to take a peek at those, you can check out my what supplies I'm using video, because I do have some great stuff, and I just want to make sure that I use them instead of just like thinking, oh yeah, I've got these great stamps. No, I want to actually use them. I am using some Gina K Amalgam ink in black to stamp out on this paper. And this paper is from Paper House Productions. And it just stamped gorgeous, like it stamped great. At first I was trying to use my Creative Memories punch because I thought that the circles were the same size. They were not. Now, I was a little bit lazy. I did not want to get up and search through my circle dies to find one that would just fit just right. So I went ahead and fussy cut the stamp circle out with my scissors. And it's fine that it's not like a perfect exact circle. It doesn't bother me. Although I do have to say, I cut out the circle pretty banging. Like, I did a pretty banging job on it. It's a great little circle. So now I'm just adding adhesive to all of my little circles here, and I am building them up and really just trying to figure out what I like the most and where I like them the most. I know that I want, this to be built up a little bit, but it's really a matter of where do I want it to go? What parts of the doily do I want to have peeking out? Which direction do I want the wood grain to go? Is the chevron straight? Where does the little stamped piece go? And once I get all that figured out, I'm pretty happy with it. Like, I'm thinking this is going to be good. It's going to be really good. Now, I do have a little bit of almost regret about what I do to this page, but I think it's because I am definitely a more is more kind of scrapbooker most of the time. And I'm not exactly sure which, like, did I add too much to this? I don't think so. Maybe I did, but I don't think so. But it's gorgeous, so we're just going to go with it. Now, I ended up using this Mary colored wood veneer, and that came from Target's Dollar Spot this year. I believe it was this year. I hope it was this year. I don't remember. Now, I am pulling in some of these My Mind's Eye brads, and I am going to be using them on this page as well. Now, originally I thought it's not going to matter if I poke the brads through this entire page and they poke through on the back, because I'm probably going to cover the back with another paper anyway. But I don't. I don't end up poking the brads through, and that's just because I thought, oh crap, what if I don't end up with another paper on the back? What if I decide that this back, paper is fine? Or what if I poke a brad through and that's really not where I need to have brad tines to be poking through, because something else like delicate's going to go there. So I had all these thoughts running through my head, and I just decided to peel the tines off. And these big ones come off really easily. You just like whip them back and forth a little bit and they pop right on off. And then the smaller ones, I end up pulling out a little wire cutter to help me along. But it's okay. So I really like how this looks. I decide that I need to bring in something else. I go for these little white acrylic hearts that came from Close to My Heart. Now I thought that this would be fine because the doily is white, but there are other aspects of white on this page that are more creamy. And these hearts just look a little, I don't want to say cheap, but they look a little bit like cheap plastic. Like the white isn't a solid white, like I've had with other white acrylic pieces. It's hard to describe. Um, and I think it's just because it's on this project that it's bothering me a little bit. So I do come up with something to kind of combat that, and I do use the white heart still. So I'm trying to figure out which wood veneer piece I should put here. I really liked that deer head there, but it just it felt like if this was going to be the title page, then there should be lots of deer throughout my album, and I don't think there's going to be lots of deer throughout my album. I just don't. There will be a couple little sprinkled here and there, but there's not going to be a ton. So I end up going with a Christmas tree because I love Christmas trees. And even though I don't have all of my wood veneer Christmas trees out, pulled for this project, I do have a lot in my stash, so I can always go grab more if I feel like I need more Christmas trees. But reindeer heads, not so much. So this is what I come up with for those little acrylic hearts. I decide to add some alcohol inks. And as you can see, the alcohol ink kind of came out a little bit faster than I thought it was going to. So the only thing I did was kind of like rub it around, and then I pat it with my paper towel, probably should have used a felt square. It would have definitely laid better on the hearts here. But I just patted it down, and then I have these very, very slightly tinged green acrylic hearts. And it kind of takes away that fake plastic look. Or at least it does to me. You guys might have thought it looked better before. I don't even know if you can actually tell that there's any tinge of green through the camera, but there is. Now I thought I've got all this glitter going on. I need a little touch more because, more is more. So I added, just trimming off the edge there before I went too much farther and started building off the edge. So I added my little holly right over top of the tree, and I really like the way that looks. Like I'm pretty pleased with that. Now I have these glue dots, and they are kind of a thicker glue dot. They definitely have a little bit of height to them. So I just layered up some on top of the back of this brad that had its tines removed. And now I am just kind of trying to figure out where the little bits go. Like how the hearts are going to go, how the tree is going to go, like which tree am I going with? Have I finally decided which tree, or am I going to keep playing with it? And then see, I bring back that deer again, and I'm like, oh, maybe the deer. I'm like, no, Sandy, not the deer, not the deer. Get the deer out of there. Okay, there we go. Back to the tree. Yay! Okay, back to the tree. We've got the tree down there. Feeling good about it. Liking my hearts that just have this little kiss of green on them. And it's really coming along. And then I'm like, you know what? I feel like I need 3 circles over here as well. So I'm going to use this tiny little brad, and we are going to make that happen. So I have to pull off the tines off of these as well. And it is happening. Now to back the little brads, they are kind of like their indent on the back of them is a little bit deeper. So what I do is I take a foam square, put it on the back of the brad, and then attach a glue dot on top of that and kind of fill in the space around the foam square so that I have lots of adhesive on the little dot. And then I'm like, you know what? I need more. I definitely need more. And I'm trying to look through and see what else I can do there, because I'm like, do I really want to put another brad there? No, I'm probably going to put another piece of wood veneer, but I really don't like how the star and the tree are the same exact shade and they just kind of blend together. and it doesn't like make it exciting. So I decide I am going to pull in another brad here. I'm going to do it. And this one is a dark brown. And then I decide, you know what, let's go ahead and get this stuff stuck down with some Nuvo adhesive that needs to be stuck down. And then we'll see what we can do. And the brad ends up staying, you guys. Spoiler alert, it's there. This is the part where I'm like, did I do too much? Did I put too much on there? Because I really like the way this looks right now. And then I go ahead and put this brad there because I felt like there was like this big expansive space that just was missing something. But I don't know. Let me know if you think that this brad that I'm going to put next to the Christmas tree was too much or if it was, good. Just let me know. I don't think I'm going to peel it up. I think it's been stuck down there long enough that if I peeled it up, it's probably going to pull up the glitter off of the paper and all that kind of stuff. So even if the majority thinks it's too much, it's probably going to stay. But, it is what it is. Okay, so we go ahead and we get that down. And then I'm like, do I bring in this guy? No, that would be too much. So we're going to pop the tines off of this bad boy and put him down over top of the little circles over on the calendar. And I'm looking at this, and while I'm doing this, I'm thinking to myself, maybe I should have backed to that vellum calendar with some pattern paper or some cardstock so you could read it a little bit better. But I don't. And I do that for a couple reasons. One, I really like the look of the vellum. I really like the doily behind it. I really like the glitter paste behind it. And I felt like if I covered that up, like I should have not even bothered putting the doily down because you only see a little sliver of it. So I really decided to just leave it. And the second reason is I still want this to feel, I know that there's a lot going on right here, but I still want it to feel kind of lighter and airy, and I think that the vellum does help with that ever so slightly. Now I was trying to put on more holly berries, but no, I decided that one little holly berry was enough, didn't need to add more throughout the page. Now I pull out these little gold puffy stickers, and these are indigo and ivy. These are not Christmas, like a Christmas collection. And then I decide that I just need to add the date because it is the opening page of my December album, and I do have the dates in the spine and the book plate cover, but I like it when you open it, you look at it, and you're like, yes, this is this date. I do that with all my albums, even my 12 by 12 chronological family albums, because I just want you to know what year really quick that you're looking at. I do use some Nuvo Deluxe adhesive, and it is almost out, and I'm going to set it upside down right now so that the little bit of glue that is left will go down to the bottom, so it's going to be easier to use. And I do use a bunch of glue on this, like for the two, like it just seeps out all over the place. And the good stuff, this is the good stuff because it dries clear, and you don't really have a lot. So that is going to do it, guys. This is my title page, and thanks so much for watching, and stay tuned because I will have more days super soon. See you guys soon.